And you know who can't even figure out what is going on or what to call the pandemic. Watch the clip.
China and others have criticized you for using the phrase Chinese virus. How do you feel about that? Are you going to continue using that phrase?
Well, China was putting out information which was false, that our military gave this to them. That was false. And rather than having an argument, I said, I have to call it where it came from. It did come from China. So I think it's a very accurate term. But no, I didn't appreciate the fact that China was saying that our military gave it to them. Our military did not give it to anybody.
I mean, clearly he's trying to pin the blame on China, but I don't recall hearing China say the military gave it to them. All I remember is seeing lots of people trying to quell this pandemic. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I was uncomfortable, and I remain uncomfortable, Whoopi, when they're saying, this is the Chinese virus, this is the Wuhan virus. I don't think this is time to do that. I think when the swine flu in 1998 originated here in the United States, we didn't hear people saying this is the American swine flu. But then again, if it is true that China is saying that the American military gave it to the Chinese, then our president is someone that is a counterpuncher, and we know that. And so this was to be expected, that he would counterpunch,
He also
right?
makes things up.
Yes,
He does make things up to cover his behind. Yeah.
But it's clear that some Chinese officials are definitely trying to send out this message.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's clear, that they're trying to send out that message. And I think, look, this is one of these issues that I think, in particular, if many on the left get too focused on, Trump's going to win on this. The bottom line is the vast majority of Americans are going to say, tell me what to do on coronavirus. I care about this virus. It matters. I'm glad finally the Trump administration is recognizing how serious it is. But if people start focusing on what is he calling it the Chinese virus versus the coronavirus, look, do I think he should be calling it the Chinese virus? No. But I think it's a losing argument for the left to make, because I think the vast majority of Americans are going to say,
or anyone to make, the left, the right, anyone.
I think that we keep talking about how we don't want to politicize this, which we shouldn't. Right now it's a time to listen to doctors, look at information, look at facts, look at data. I think by calling it the Chinese virus, that's politicizing it by title. So I think we need to stay on calling it what it is. It's the coronavirus or COVID-19, and stay with fact.
And, people, as we've seen, people start punching people, Asian folks, out.
Yes.
They, will attack. So we need to stop calling it or labeling it like they did it to us. Mother Nature really did this to us.
Part of the problem is in December, there were a bunch of Chinese doctors that were sounding the alarm on this virus, and the Chinese government, or, lack of the government, was trying to suppress them, and they were trying to give out warnings. I actually have a friend whose brother was in China, and the lack of information, they don't have access to social media. I agree with you that I think if the left wants to focus on PC labeling this virus, it is a great way to get Trump reelected. I don't have a problem with people calling it whatever they want. It's a deadly virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it, and I think that China, had they acted right away and we had more access to information, maybe it wouldn't have gotten to the place that it is. That doesn't mean that we should be, in any way
we shouldn't be pointing fingers at people.
I'm pointing fingers at China.
We shouldn't stereotype it.
I'm fine, happy.
But we also need information
from
China.
No,
by the way, we as Americans have the luxury but we have the luxury right now to be arguing about verbiage versus people that are actually dying and on ventilators in other
Americans
countries.
that get targeted because people start calling it the Chinese
this is the point.
virus, right?
First of all, anyone who thinks, I tweeted about this days ago because a woman I follow on Twitter named Jenny Han, her sister was the recipient. I know you can't hear me. I can see that you can't hear me, Whoopi, but she was the recipient of some racial targeting. Obviously, anyone that knows anything about me knows that I wouldn't be a proponent of that. But I do think the idea that we're just going to let China off the hook, and what you were saying, Dan, there is a lot of misinformation. They are using social media to target Americans to try and spread misinformation about our military and about our media. China. And the idea that I'm just going to let China get away with it and get off the hook, there's a lot of anger about our reliance on the Chinese government right now and our reliance on China in so many ways. And by the way, that messaging from President Trump and his messaging from the very beginning that we need to remove our trade from China is going to be very effective going into 2020.
But you cannot let, you don't have to let China get away with it.
But you cannot.
I can't tell who's yelling at me right now.
The same thing that he did. No one's yelling.
Right
I'm
now.
just trying to make sure you can hear me. I'm simply saying the same way he came in saying Mexicans and rapists are coming here to get Americans is the same stuff he's doing. It was effective, but it was not correct, is the point. And if any Asian person who is getting hit, as we've seen in the last few weeks, because someone thinks that they are walking around with it, you can't, as the person who's leading the country, you can't lead with that. You got to be better.